Sends the ball back into Steel territory.
Oh, and the cross there, and no one's there. Panguay tried his very best. Oh, that's an open goal. Can they put it away? Mercantile puts it high. No one is there.
3 minutes of overtime, folks, in game number 5 here. That has to be grueling for both teams, but unfortunately for the Altoona team, they are going home in second place. The Johnstown Steel win the Division II championship tonight. All right, everybody, welcome back to our Championship Series interview. Again, I'm Foxy Robbie. Thank you for joining us again today. We have a special guest, and that person is none other than Waterslice, who was on the Division II Johnstown Steel team, who were the Division II champions here in Season 3. Waterslice, say hi, let everybody know who you are, and let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Waterslice. I play Rocket League way too much.
Just so everybody knows, where are you from?
UK. I'll say Manchester because I don't live in a major city that most people will know.
Now, so being from the UK, first question I do want to ask: how did you hear about the eSport company?
Well, when I was back on Xbox, I think I started getting into like some Discord servers that played Rocket League and would set up games and tournaments. And the one before this went terribly. It disbanded just before the tournament was going to start. So I'm looking through the Rocket League, the Xbox group chats for Rocket League, where people could post about a game, trying to look for someone to play with. And at the very bottom was an advertisement for tech. So I messaged the person who put the group post up and found myself in it.
And when did you end up joining? What season?
I think it was probably like season 2, but I wasn't active up until like December last year, because Blasky and Jolly Jim messaged me and asking for my rank, and then I got more involved.
Gotcha. So like towards the end of season 2 was probably when you started to get more involved with it.
Yeah.
Now, going into season 3, playing for the Johnstown Steel, what was your frequency of play? Like, what were you doing as far as like practice wise? As far as like beginning of the season, and then going through the rest of the season.
Mostly just putting in time, playing a lot of the game. We had trainings up until the game started. Just carry on playing. Did some streams to try and make myself play the game more. Just carried on playing. Tried to do a few training packs, focus on some mechanics.
Now, when you say training packs, do you think it would be useful to do boost drills, like maybe say once or twice a week, just to see how people progress throughout the season?
Yeah, I think there's a dribbling one that's really good, and then there's aerial control with boost management that looks really good as well.
Yeah, and like I had said before, the streamers that I had seen that play in the RLCS, they run these drills for, hours. I saw a guy do just a 3-hour stream of just drills. The season, I have to say, was incredible for all parties involved. Just watching as like a spectator and commentator on it. Tell me how you guys, went through the season. Like, give me the rundown of like, all right, week 1, we kind of just, felt this way, and then, lead me through to the championship.
Well, week 1, I was very nervous. First game, didn't know what to expect. Had no idea what level our oppositions were. And then Mert started freestyling within the first minute, and that got me down a lot. And then we blitzed them. I played pretty well. I was quite happy with my performance in that. Week 2, we played 2 games a week, right? So we had the stream game as our first week. So that was even more pressure. That's why I was so nervous. We carried on winning, carried on 3-0. The only times we got nervous after that was when we goal down, and we wanted to keep our winning streak going. So we'd have to calm properly then and try and calm down the freestyles a bit. We kept on 3-0, and then it was like final game of the season before playoffs. We'd beaten teams who were perfect, and then we won that game in the last game of the season 3-2, and we had that playoffs, which was really fun. It was quite interesting seeing the other teams and what would happen there as well.
In your regular season match, when you were coming up on the end of the season, did you guys feel like you were making like progress through your division? Like, as far as did you find yourself communicating with your team in a more effective way as you went on through the season?
Yeah, definitely, because we got more used to each other. I remember at the start I was analysing what the other D2 teams were doing on the VODs for when they had their stream games. I just felt more and more confident because I knew we were the better team. We just had to. So we got more used to like how each other played. Just sort of relaxed a lot. Just try to keep the comms fun. Make sure we can just focus on the task at hand each time.
Were your teammates this season also UK time, or were they Eastern time, Eastern American time?
They were both Eastern.
Eastern. So being on such a time delay, did you find yourself being more prone to making mistakes where you didn't get enough of a rest beforehand, or maybe you'd had a misclick pretty much 5 hours ahead of the times that your games would be playing? Even some of them at 8 o'clock Eastern, that'd be about 1 a.m. in UK time.
The main problem for me was always kickoffs. It would always lag quite a bit on the kickoffs, so I couldn't really cheat up. The kickoffs were always a wonderful mystery on where the hell the ball's going to end up, because I don't know, I'm like however many milliseconds behind, so the ball could generally end up anywhere when I went for a kickoff, which I got more used to on how to position myself to accommodate for that. But I couldn't really cheat up because the ball would just teleport a bit on my screen. And I'm like, oh, okay. And with the 5 hours times difference, I almost missed the finals.
Goodness.
I got the times wrong for the finals. I was just casually downstairs having some toast and a cup of tea, and I was like, Mert just messaged the group chat like, boys, we're playing in 30 minutes, where are you? And I was like, wait, what? We are? So I had to chuck my cup of tea down the drain and run up. Thankfully I didn't miss it, but
you said the kickoffs would lag. What kind of compensations would you make, playing in game, if you started to feel like you were lagging a bit more than usual?
Just let spam and Mert take over and play a bit more safer. Just playing for steal and boost, or try and get some demos which were so dodgy. But just staying back a bit more, letting them do their thing, and then trying to clean up whenever I could. And it worked pretty well.
Somebody in your position where you're going to be playing at a disadvantage because of that lag, did that at all deter you from wanting to play forward more?
Not really, because I played. I was making sure I was playing NA East games with like the captain and stuff like that. Just making sure I got used to the lag whenever I could. Whenever they were on, I'd always try and play with them to make sure I could get used to it more and how they play. Decent bit of difference in how NA people play to EU players. So I had to get used to that, and just making sure I'd be there in position, trying to keep my position solid and not really worry about any of the fancy mechanic bits, because I knew Mert and Spam could do that for me.
I noticed this. I watch competitive Fortnite for people that listen, and I speak to this when you had said the differences between EU and North American players. The EU play style for a game like Fortnite is vastly different compared to the style of North American players, and it always perplexed me if that could possibly be a thing that happens in other games too. What can you speak to as far as the difference in play styles of EU versus North American Rocket League players?
My level, I think it's people don't really try and set themselves up for a fancy play. They just sort of do it when they have the opportunity. But I think we're much quicker in the air. We'd pre-jump whenever there's a ball on the backboard. We pre-jump straight away, and you have to get very good at pre-jumping the backboard. If sort of defenders there, you try and pre-jump their hit. Probably play a bit slower. Take the game, try and dribble a bit more. There's not really many dribbles, and when they are, they're very hard to defend for EU because people play a lot of twos and ones, and they get very good at being able to flick the ball. They shoot a different way as well. Like a normal shot could be going off the backboard, you hit it and it goes in. But on them fast breaks, I feel like it happens a bit more in EU because we play with a third man quite high. We don't really have a necessarily like safer man. You always play a bit higher and you always try and get back as quick as you can. You have to be ready for anything for EU because it could just come booming down the other side, but there's like a different way of shooting in EU.
Interesting. Yeah, that's always been something on my mind where I've seen different regions play in different games. Somebody who's more advanced might see themselves sticking back further just because they want to see how everybody else plays it and then come in at the right time, which I had seen a lot from you. Was you would sit back more, watch it play out, and then you'd come in very precisely and maybe put a shot on goal or even get a goal.
Yeah, I try and map the play out in my head. I sort of do this like subconsciously. Keep an eye on the boost. You know when the boost is going to pop, and you know how much of a team has boost. You see like Mert or spam on the wall. So you sort of map it out before it happens, what's going to happen, and you sort of get in them positions ready for it. I feel that's probably the biggest difference actually. EU versus NA, we're more sound when it comes to rotations and positioning.
Going into the playoffs and then ultimately the championship game, was there like a team meeting where you guys kind of like got together and like, all right, review the tapes, go through, try to pick up, we're definitely going to be playing this team next week, so why don't we watch this and see where they make the mistakes and try to capitalize on that?
I think the main thing that I tried to focus on was if Armada got through. I didn't realize its champ wasn't a starter, and they didn't want to use him for subs. I think he's already used most of them. That's the one player I remember who could score a nice goal on us. And then there was Combat Angels team. I don't remember who he played for, but if they got through, they were always going to be a little bit of a worry because Combat's very good at the game. I think they were like the main two sort of teams you'd keep an eye on. I heard that Combat got knocked out, and I heard that Armada got knocked out, so I was like, we should be fine. It wasn't really like a team meeting or anything, it'd just be messages in the group chat and just be like, we'd see who got through and plan it after, but it's one game at a time, making sure we don't look too far ahead, because that's when you can make simple mistakes.
Going into the grand finals, not having to worry about those two challenges, were you expecting the Altoona team to put up the fight that they did?
I was expecting Utica to make it through because they only lost one game, and that was to us, I think, in the regular season. So I was surprised to see them in the finals. But what was it, the second game that they took?
I think so, yeah.
It was the second or third that they took. Just simple mistakes on our defense that cost us. And they were putting some demos in, which normally we should be fine with, but just some simple rotation mistakes that we made. So we weren't really too worried when we lost that game because we knew it was just basic mistakes that we don't exactly need the 60 seconds to iron out. It's just maybe play a bit quicker or not go up for the crazy plays as much. Just focus on just beating them, because I know we missed a lot of shots.
The crossbar was your worst enemy in that game because there were like 6 crossbar
shots. I
couldn't
shoot to save my life.
So there's like 6 crossbar shots in a row
bad.
that were just not in your favor.
I couldn't stop hitting like the backboard or the crossbar. It was terrible. I couldn't shoot. I think I scored like 1 or 2 goals a series. It was awful for me. But I tried to make up on it on defense. But I was so annoyed every time I had like a shot. I was like, I need to put it in this box. it's a pretty big area for the level we're at, and it's like, how did I keep hitting the crossbar? It was so annoying. It was like the one tilting bit of the match was like hitting the crossbar over and over again. It's like there was so many chances. I reckon if the crossbar didn't get hit as much as we did, if we had 100% shooting, we would have got like 10 plus goals in one of the games, because we just kept on hitting the crossbar and we made the games closer than they needed to be.
And now you're in the off season and prepping for season 4. What's your game plan? I mean, you got a big target on your back now, season 3 champion. What's the next step?
Well, Mert's been moved up to Division 1, so I'm hoping the roster is me, Nap, who was our sub for last season, and Spam. I hope we get to play, because I think if we do, we should be able to go back to back with some of the good players that are coming into the tech for this next season. It should be a bit more interesting, and we've got trainings coming up soon, and we've got the draft and the random people that join us. That would be interesting to see what happens then. Hopefully Garrett can stay with the roster, but you never know these days.
All right. I think that's going to conclude our interview for today. Thank you for joining us, Waterslice.
Thanks for having me.
And for everybody watching at home, throw up your socials. Let them know where they can find you. Tune into your streams, see you play Rocket League, and give you a following. Get you that Twitch affiliate.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Twitch.tv/Waterslice.
And thank you again for joining me. This has been a fantastic interview. Looking forward to seeing you come back in season 4. Looking forward to watching you play along with your fellow champion teammates, Merticle and Spam. Thank you again for doing this, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good night, everybody.